and subscribe, share, comment, and you can also donate. And I'll put I'm gonna put the link for you to donate via my PayPal to below. Okay. All right. Let me talk about this thing. See, uh, Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. George Kambosos, I saw him train and everything, and he looked sharp. He looked quick. Feet don't look that quick, but his hands are quick. Um, I see what he's doing. I see the little spear jabs and the little things he tried to do to slip the jab, go off to the side, throw his punches. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, George. Here's the thing, though, George Kambosos. You're gonna lose this fight. No disrespect to George Kambosos and his team. I love his attitude and everything. He got his own promotional company, everything. He's doing it the right way. He's a smart fighter. Underestimated somewhat, I think, but not by Devin Haney, but he's underestimated somewhat by the public. He's a damn good fighter. I was listening to Jeff Mayweather talking about it's going to be a close fight. It's going to be a competitive fight. He doesn't think Devin Haney can win that fight across in Australia. I'm gonna be super honest with you guys. This fight ain't gonna be close. I'm gonna let y'all know that. This is in fact a fight that's a mismatch. Okay? Ain't no way in hell Devin Haney gonna go all the way across to Australia to lose in a close fight. That's not happening. Okay, the reason why Devin Haney is going across to Australia and not only fighting Kambosos once, but in the rematch, if Kambosos won a rematch after this fight, and then looking to take on Lomachenko because he knows, he doesn't feel, he knows he can beat George Kambosos. He's not going across there. It don't matter if his father's there, his father's not there. It don't matter. He gonna have a trainer in his corner at least. It really don't matter. He's going to beat George Kambosos. Now why? I'm going to explain it to you guys one more time. Devin Haney's pedigree prepared him for this moment in time. This is a moment he was prepared for. Okay? There's a reason why he's crossing this. It doesn't matter where he goes. He doesn't care. Because he's ready. He really is ready for this moment. Okay? And I said it in the comment sections in different groups and so on. I explained to them, and I said it like this. The jab. That's going to be the big difference in this whole entire fight. George Kambosos is a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. He's a fantastic fighter. But what Devin Haney can do with his jab is something that very few fighters can do with their jabs. Not even Canelo does it as well as Devin Haney does with his jab. Devin Haney is a stick and move fighter who can also fight on the inside, and he can also fight at mid-range. But the thing that Devin Haney will set the tone in this fight for, and it will continue that way, is his jab. It's his jab. He has one of the best jabs in boxing right now. Better than Tyson Fury. Better than dare I say Jamal Charlo. He has a better jab than Jamal Charlo. Okay? And the reason why I said his jab, we saw Dimitri Bivol, what he did to Canelo with his jab. How he limited Canelo, limited his offense, etc. And it's not just the jab that Devin Haney has that makes him so exceptional. It's the way how he moves, his footwork with that jab. Okay? And that sets up everything. And just that's just the way how that goes. Devin Haney has a 72-inch reach. He is recorded as being 5'8", but he's much bigger than that now. With a 72-inch reach, he probably has a longer reach as well. He's growing as a guy, so he's going to get bigger, and he's probably bigger. George Kambosos is listed as 5'9" with a 68-inch reach. Reach is going to be important in this fight. Kambosos is going to try and cut some angles to get to Devin Haney, and Devin Haney is just going to neutralize it by pivoting. So what I'm trying to explain to you guys is Devin Haney is one of those rare breed of fighters you're going to see that is going to be hard to beat him, period. In terms of winning rounds, He gonna almost dominate from the get go, and he's just gonna dominate round after round after round after round. He's gonna be dominating everybody. Now listen to Devin Haney's preparation, and I'm gonna show you Kambosos' preparation. Devin Haney unanimously beat JoJo Diaz, a very skilled mid-range to inside southpaw fighter. Okay, he was tested that way. Devin Haney faced former lightweight champion Jorge Linares, who is a combinational puncher. He punches in bunches, very quick mid-range fighter. Devin Haney faced Yorkers Gamboa, dominated him for 12 rounds. Now, there was a little hiccup with Linares at the end of round 10, I believe it was. But other than that, Devin Haney dominated, and he even walked back Linares, and he even beat him to the punch in mid-range and on the inside, bullying him. Devin Haney's a big dude. Devin Haney's probably a 160-pounder. All right, let me explain something else to you guys. And then I'm talking about Jorge Kambosos. Kambosos' set of people was, he fought Mickey Bey. Mickey Bey's a good fighter. He's a good boxer, mover. Then he faced Lee Selby, who's a good boxer, mover as well. And then he beat Teofimo Lopez. Very promising fighter. But I always said to you guys, I believed that Teofimo and Gervonta Tank Davis were the weakest of the fighters coming up. It changed hands. Now Gervonta's, I think he's a little bit above Devin Haney because he has a little bit more experience. I think Gervonta's a little bit higher than Devin right now. But in terms of the hierarchy of lightweights, great lightweights right now, we're talking Gervonta, Devin, and even though he ain't got no belt, Ryan Garcia. I said it, Ryan Garcia. Watch out for that dude. That dude has problems. Don't get it twisted. He talking crazy and all that shit, but don't get it twisted with Ryan Garcia. He can fight his ass off. Okay? So it's Gervonta, Devin, Ryan. That's how it goes. Because experience. Devin and Ryan, they had a nice little rivalry that used to go on in the amateurs. They know each other pretty well. Kambosos. Kambosos was the wild card. Nobody thought could come through, but he was working in the dark, like he said. Working on his craft, scientific, everything. Doing his thing, getting better and better. I expect a better Kambosos than the Kambosos that faced Teofimo Lopez by miles when he goes to face Devin Haney. But here's the thing with Devin Haney. He'll take away from you your best attributes very quickly in a fight. Because everything in boxing depends on range. Remember that. Now, if Kambosos think he can walk through Devin Haney's punch and get to him, go ahead. Best of luck, buddy. But you remember two things. I want to keep this in the back of your mind. Kambosos surprised Teofimo Lopez when Teofimo Lopez was beating him up in the first round. And then Teofimo Lopez got lackadaisical, threw a lazy jab, and Kambosos countered right over the jab. Right? He countered over his jab and knocked him down. And that changed the complexity of the fight from there on in. Kambosos has had split decision wins in his last 3 fights. His biggest fights. Lee Selby, Mickey Bey, Lee Selby, and then Teofimo Lopez. All his fights have been close. And he got the nod. How do you take that away? Because if you look at Devin Haney, while everybody else is getting close fights, or tough fights, Devin Haney, in the competition I'm talking about, JoJo Diaz gave him good work. Unanimous decision. I want you to understand what I'm saying. A Devin Haney fight is not a to and fro fight. Now people are feeling Kambosos will be able to bring out a split decision on Devin Haney. It'll be a to and fro fight with Kambosos. He's going to be making adjustments. Haney make adjustments. But you see, the critical piece of the puzzle is reach. And reach comes into play kind of like Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Reach comes into play when you have the footwork to close off those angles that the other guy is trying to get you with. You understand what I'm saying? And Devin Haney, that's the thing. He has the footwork. So now reach becomes a factor. And Devin Haney has a 72-inch reach over Kambosos' 68. And Kambosos, he's a busy fighter, and he changes angles and he changes looks. But Devin don't throw no lazy jabs. So Kambosos will never get the chance to counter over the jab. And even if he does try to counter over the jab, he might get hit with a right hand coming back at him, depending on how he pulls counters. And it may be Devin Haney backing up Kambosos, which will shock all of you guys, because he's using the same tools that Kambosos knows how to use, but he's longer. So I want you to understand why this was a no-brainer for me. I've looked at Devin Haney spar, I've looked at him train, and he's much longer than Kambosos. And that's going to be a significant factor in this fight. And remember, Devin Haney can also fight on the inside. He collapses those long arms kind of like Errol Spence, and he can dog you. He can dog you. So he has both attributes. The only thing with Devin Haney he has to understand, Kambosos is also a mid-range fighter, is you can't put yourself, I mean, you may be improving in your mid-range game, but you don't want to put yourself in no man's land. You don't want to get a Jorge Linares experience with Kambosos because you're caught in mid-range and you don't have no D. You in the wrong angle. So I hope but whatever Devin Haney wants to do to Kambosos, he'll be able to do. But I expect him to start dictating with the jab from round 1, like Bivol did to Canelo. And then that takes away all of Kambosos' game. Once he establishes range, it don't matter what Kambosos want to do, it won't work. So that is why Kambosos was so wary of facing Devin Haney, because he knows Devin Haney has tools to beat him, period. There's nothing he can do. If Devin Haney keeps him at range and at bay, there's nothing he can do. There's nothing, because he always falls short. And then Devin Haney just counter his ass and keep it moving. Okay? So you have to understand boxing. If you don't understand boxing, none of this will make sense to you. And you will feel that this is a 50-50 fight, Kambosos got a chance, and blah, 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 blah. When he really don't got no chance, really. He got like a chance, but he's not really a puncher, so he don't really got a chance. He going to try and make it scrappy. He got to try and make it scrappy. You know what I'm saying? He got to, once he can get on the inside, he need to butt him. He need to, keep it dirty, hit him low blows and shit like that. That's what he need to do. To try and weaken Devin Haney, throw him off his game or something, because other than that, this is going to be a clinic, y'all. This will be a whitewash. This is going to be a blowout. This is going to look like a mismatch. It's going to look like a mismatch. It's not looking like a 50-50 fight at all. All right? And I can see it from the get-go. Styles make fights. And Kambosos probably would hang pretty well with a number of fighters, but there's, maybe even Tank. Tank don't got that big reach or anything. He might look pretty good with Tank before Tank knock him out. You know what I'm saying? But the big dogs in the division is Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, and Tank. Okay, Pitbull. He cool too, but he's not. He like a, he cool. But he's not, he's not. Jojo Diaz is a bad boy, too. I love to see Jojo Diaz versus Ryan Garcia. But to be honest with you, the big dogs in that division is Ryan Garcia, 5'11", with a 73-inch reach. That's a bad motherfucker. Then you got Devin Haney, he's probably taller than 5'8" now, with a 72-inch reach. And then you got Tank, who's a short little runt in the whole set. But he's really gifted, right? And I'm not saying Kambosos, he can't exceed expectations and do something spectacular that I've never factored in or I never thought of. But it's going to be real hard. Unless he can bob and weave or maybe slip and slide, to get to the inside. This is a shutout, y'all. Devin Haney ain't going down to no damn Australia. Trust me, he's not just going down there to lose. No, it's not happening like that. All right? So no matter what you guys think, I'm telling you, the jab is the thing that makes the difference in that matchup. That's why I can predict this fight. I could have predicted it from since it came, because I know what Kambosos' style is. I know what Devin Haney's style is. And I just know that Devin Haney has a style to beat Kambosos' style. And Kambosos don't have the skill set or the tools to close that distance like he will need to. against Devin Haney. That's the problem. He got to hope that Devin Haney don't punch hard. He got to hope that. So he could close the distance and he could take them punches and close the distance. Because other than that, this is just going to be a shutout. How much you need? I hope you guys have a good one. I just wanted to break that down because I know it's about a week before the fight. So I decided to give my prediction one time. These two fights are no-brainers. Tank versus Rolly and Devin versus Kambosos. I know Kambosos got home turf. I know he said he's sharper than ever. I know they got a game plan. I know he said he's going to try and surprise Devin Haney. I've heard this tune before. But he did it with Teal. But Teal and Devin Haney are two different guys. Like, many people say Teal would beat Devin Haney. I don't see it. I never saw it. I never saw Teofimo Lopez want to beat Devin Haney. There's a reason Kambosos was not interested in facing Devin Haney in Australia. There's a reason why there is a rematch clause in there. It don't gonna make a difference in the rematch. Devin Haney gonna just beat him even worse, because he already know what he bring to the table once he experienced him the first time. So, it's just the way how it is. Devin Haney is pedigree. He always had the best training. He was with the best set of people. And Kambosos, don't get it twisted. Kambosos is a hell of a fighter, but it's just it's going to be very difficult for him to beat Devin Haney. Let's put it that way. And they tried to rob Bivol against Canelo in Vegas, but they couldn't because Bivol was that good. And if Devin Haney shuts out Kambosos, there's nothing they can do. They could try and rob him. They could try and rob him, but they ain't gonna get no more fights after that. But they can't. You can't. If he sweeps every single round, it ain't close. I mean, I'm sorry. It's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. And he might stop him. He might stop Kambosos. Yeah, because Kambosos is not a guy that will lay down. Even if it's not working for him, he's gonna sell out and he's gonna try and fight to the very end. And he looked like a guy that'll get stopped. He got plenty of heart too. He is definitely from the stock of the from a Spartan. He really is a Spartan. He really is a Greek. So I expect him to fight his ass off. But when stuff's not working like they expect it to work, I think he's gonna sell out and get knocked out. But I don't think he's a guy that's gonna he's not going to quit, and he's not going to just give up. So I expect him to bring it, and get dropped. He can still bring it. He's a guy, he recoup, and he'll bring it. He's not going to give up. So that should be a hell of a fight. For that reason, it's going to be a very exciting, entertaining fight. I just want to say to the Australian people who all, appreciate boxing and appreciate the sweet science of the sport, of course they're going to back Kambosos. Of course, you should back your Contra, man. I mean, 100%. I would say to them, though, just understand that in the sport of boxing, that's just the way how it goes. It's boxing. So don't be too hard on Kambosos because Kambosos did tremendous. He beat Teofimo Lopez. Nobody expected that to happen. I was watching it and I was like, I didn't make a prediction, but I was like, nah, this dude is dialed in. This dude mean business. Okay? And for fact, he meant business and he did what he was supposed to do. And I like Kambosos. So it's not like I don't like Kambosos when I'm saying this, that Devin Haney would beat him. I'm just looking at what Devin Haney brings to the table, what Kambosos brings to the table, what Kambosos can do, and what Devin Haney can do. So I was looking at that. I thought at least he'll be out boxing, but it was still competitive. Kambosos always bring that energy. He always keeps coming, So I believe that's what people measure that out and say, oh, this fight's close or that fight's close. But this fight ain't going to be close. This is not going to be close. I don't believe that, at least. I don't see it happening. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong again. I've been wrong before. I was wrong about, I think, last week's fight. I picked... Who did I pick to win? Which fight was that, too? I can't remember. I got the Benavidez. There was one fight I think I did not get out of all the fights that I predicted. I can't remember what fight it was. I think I got one fight wrong. If it wasn't last week, it was the week before. I can't remember. But you know, sometimes you get them wrong. So, oh yeah, it was it just crossed my mind and then it disappeared. It was what fight was that? Uh huh. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Because yeah, the Charlo fight. Yeah, I had predicted that Castano would beat Charlo the second time around. I thought he would beat him again, and Charlo boxed his ass off. I mean, he boxed him. I mean, he put on a clinic, and then stopped his ass. I was very impressed with that fight. I'm very impressed with Charlo. He proved me wrong. Period. Wrong. I was wrong like Donkey Kong. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to Derek James on that. So I could be wrong on this one as well. I could be wrong on this one. I could be wrong on the Tank versus Rawley, but I doubt it. I doubt with those two fights. I think those two fights are clear for me, and I got the guys. There's a reason those guys are top guys in the division, and they're gonna show us why that is so. And of course, Rawley Ramirez questioning Tank as a top guy, and also Kambosos. You know, he's not questioning Devin Haney whether he's the top guy or not, but he's definitely trying to put the heat and pressure on Devin Haney in different ways that you know, and it's all good, man. It's all good, you know. But I honestly think that Devin Haney ain't going across there because he doesn't know how to beat Kambosos. He knows how to do it. Not just Kambosos, but any fighter. And so, yeah, that's what I got with that. So that prediction's out the way, so you don't have to ask me about that prediction. You already know where I stand on that. All right, guys. I'm going to catch you guys later. What you need. Out.